so now it's live. Okay, sorry. So can you see and hear? Okay, again, let's ask a question. See and hear. Okay. Let me know in the chat. And we'll start shortly. Today we primarily, okay, you're not, okay, cool. Anyway, so again, those of you in the office, you can definitely mute the sound, so and just listen on what I'm saying here aloud. Otherwise it will be very difficult, I think. Anyway, so yeah, nice to see you here. Okay, so today we're not going to be too long, I think, because we're gonna review the code which I gave as a homework and see what has been submitted, what is the practices applied, and what should be changed. So it will be kind of like a live code review. And next week we will start a new round of workshops, so that the new people can join and the previous can learn more things for different from different perspective, from different technology and different use cases. Okay, so let's dig into it. So let's start by Zaf's code. So the task was to create the so let me quickly copy the task somewhere. I will copy the tasks also probably to the here to the Jamboard so that everybody sees them. Yeah, like that. Okay, I just realized that I have not plugged my computer. Just a second. Okay, now it will be better. So to implement the user so that would be able to check the credentials with the password, do not allow the users to access post-edit pages, and but do allow them to access the home page. Then create the session type as file system or SQLite database instead of encrypted cookie. So we'll see who succeeded with these tasks and in what way. Okay, so that was the goal. And here, so the Zaf, so let's see. So there's the database. Where is the database? There is no user. Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe I opened the wrong database. Let me see. What is that? Okay, there is the users. Okay, cool. So then there's the user ID. So that's good job that you are sticking to the way how it's written. So the tag ID, not just ID, which is the reserved keyword, which is not good to use. But then, so is deleted, created, modified is missing here, which is not so good. Then what is happening here? So you're having the email as varchar, password as varchar, and then you have index for the password. So that's and you have unique. Wow, that is really interesting. Why would you do that? I think it's a little bit dangerous actually even. So imagine what happens. So you don't want to have the same passwords for multiple people if you want like that. I don't know why would you do that, but still. Then what happens if somebody enters the password and you say this has already been used in the system, then this user have information how to hack your system. He can try to use different emails and find which one is it who has the same password, right? So instead of having unique index, I think what we wanted to have is just to have an index, which is really good idea, but not unique index. So basically here, it should be not unique, just index. So if it's just index, then it's great because then you're checking the password, but then at the same time it's not cool because you're not checking also the email. So for the indexes, just to remind you, the indexes is the way how we can optimize things. We can hash the combination of the so let me actually delete all of this stuff. So we can hash the combination between the email and the password. So this combination will be treated as one. So basically every time when I look for specific email and specific password, that combination will be hashed so we can access it very quickly. So basically that is the purpose of indexes, and in general that is very good idea, but to use them in this manner, maybe that's not the best. Let me see. So you had the unique is definitely not good here. It will just create a lot of problems. But instead, if you use something like this, this is really good thing. So I hope this is clear. If the indexes, SQL indexes are not clear, then definitely write in the chat or look up how to use them. So you see now this combination is activated. But then let's keep looking. So model user. So this is great. You have a data class, but in the data class the password is integer, which is a little bit strange, which I don't think it is integer. And also not sure if you can create user without any password at all. So anyways, so here this probably should be a string, hash string, and I think that was the thing which I mentioned last time, and all of you did it actually, and that was a great job that you sorry for that. So that you hashed the passwords in a very decent way. So I think all of you, but here it should not be integer, it should be string. So that's another change here. So let's keep looking. So let's look at database. So what new things do you have here? You have verify user, just one function. And in this function, this is very strange way. Why would you do that? So instead of writing something like this, which basically, by the way, again, this is something we already talked about. So if it's having this kind of query, it will try to get, so it before getting back the response, it will go through all of the users. So it will not stop when I find the first email. It will go through all of the users and then only return the cursor. So this not good, because we'll query all of rows before returning value. So let me ask in the chat how to fix this. So in the chat, let me see if somebody can answer. Yeah, so Zaf can answer himself. So yes, and everybody else can also answer. Limit 1, so that's one way. So the indexes also would help, but then to use the indexes would require that this should be rewritten in a different way. So instead of doing this, but we could do something like this. Select, let's say, a user ID, and then from users where email. By the way, again, this is really strange. You're using email here, but your data class was mail. So there is definitely some kind of buggy stuff happening right now. So then password equals something else, and then limit 1. So if this will return any rows, so you can then check the cursor row count. Yeah, so cursor row count. If this is more than 1, then more than 0, then basically this is correct. If not, then it's not correct. And also you should check probably if it's not deleted. Not is deleted, because again, things which have multiple data relations, like users can have posts and comments and so on, so it's very difficult just to delete them at all from the database. Instead, you kind of soft delete them using isDelete, because then the foreign keys still keep working, you know. So this is this, and you see here another kind of strange bug here. You have mail here, and then you have email. It seems like a little bit not careful of making this code. And then, okay, so on this one is big no. So again, this is something we talked so many times, so please do not repeat this bug. So return should be at the end, so each function have one return, one input, one output. Otherwise, what happens is something like I should call verify user. Now I have a bug here, and then it goes to this part, and then it returns pointer to the function because there is no return here. So this is really, really bad. Very, very, very bad. So please keep in mind of the way how you write functions, that you know they always return the same data type, the same kind of flow structure, so it's not broken in multiple places. Okay, so that is that. Let's see here in this part, so the login. Actually, I should have run this whole code, because now I've maybe broken already something. Okay, I did not broke anything here. I hope I didn't break anything so far. Okay, so we have login. So this is a good job. You remove the white spaces, you lower the case. It doesn't matter the case, right? So then you hash the password. You have some kind of function which seems to be borrowed from somewhere else, because this is not your style of syntax. At least it doesn't seem like. Like for example, the returning data types. Yeah, so that is that, and of course this is the correct way. You do some kind of hashing, either 128, 256, or some other, like MD5, which is old one, or something else. Basically, it matters in the sense that, you know, the larger the hash value, the less likely somebody has the collision of that value already registered somewhere in the internet. You know, there is a lot of rainbow tables where people publish known hashes, which you can use to log in your account. Like you can log in your Facebook using different password using your email, and it would work. And this is not a problem like in general, it's just a way how hashing algorithms work. Okay, so yeah, so this is a little bit problematic. Now Zaf says, so what is the name of that? Admitted that he took the code from one of our projects. So basically I saw also Evert's borrowing code from our project, so that is not very cool. It's better to write your own code and understand what it is, but hopefully you understand it. So anyway, so that is that. Then the verify user is verified. Login. You write session login. Let's see what you do with this. You don't do this anything. So at least here not. So just logged in and there is nothing happening on. So let me see in the whole project. Are we using somewhere session? Okay, this is very interesting way how you're using it. Very, very interesting. So is logged in, there is the edit. So you're just hiding the edit buttons, but you don't restrict user to go to edit page. So what it means, if I go now inside the posts edit page, here is no restriction. I can still edit my posts even though I'm not logged in. So that is not cool at all. But at least this part is good. So maybe you can share this piece of code. So this is not too bad that you use the, you know, hiding the sessions in the code, in the template. So that is good. Okay, what is happening with my pasting function. Anyway, so if you have any other comments, just write in the chat, I will respond. Okay, so this is this. Yeah, so please keep in mind all of these kind of things. At least great that you admit that that you understand that there are some issues and not just stick to something that is not great. Okay, so here you have the message. Let me check if you actually send back the message. Message. Yeah, so the wrong credentials. Then you have the redirect here. Okay, fine, kind of fine. Okay, so I hope in general the code looks fine. So let's keep accept those bugs. So let's keep now move to the Everts code. So Everts made much better model class. So this is much better. I mean, like you know, like the naming is correct, and most of the data types, I think, in general, are correct. Maybe the date time could be different, but it's okay. So I will drop this here. So this is good example for those of you who did not submit the homework, unfortunately. Let me see what is the database structure. Actually, that was really surprising that I saw that you added the index for the password. So that was interesting approach. So here, this is this. Seems okay, except like, you know, like the email is 512 signs, so it means that need to be checked that the characters are not longer. So let me see then the login. So you are doing the utils hash. I suspect that maybe something is again borrowed from somewhere else. I don't know, but why would you create your own class? Maybe you did, so that's a good job then. So yeah, so this is about okay, except you know, like always would be nice to have try catches and checks, you know, like if this is not empty and things like that. So that is good. Password check on you send the user as the so this is a nice touch. So Everett send just the raw strings, but you are sending the pointer to the object, which is you know, like a little bit maybe cleaner way in some places. I'm not sure if it exactly in this place, but when you work with objects, it's cleaner. So the model, then this code seems to be nice, except you still don't have limit here. Otherwise, seems okay. And you also have a nice structure with one input, one output. So this is a good job, except the limit is missing, right? If somebody else notice other bugs or problems or improvements, let me know in the chat. So the limit 1 is missing here. Let's keep digging in. And this session is definitely much more interesting for people who actually did the homework instead of just watching. But the watching is good start. You know, the next week we will start the new cycle, and hopefully you will not fall out next time. Okay. By the way, last time for the Zaf, I didn't see him doing the Flask session on the files. Let me quickly check. Where was the Zaf code? Oh no, there is the file system. Okay. Let me see yours, Everts. So the file system based cookies, not cookies, but sessions. So this permanent sessions. Okay, so I think I'm not completely sure, but I think if you set this to false, then in that case it will be deleted when you close the worker probably. But if you send it to permanent, then it just saves as a real files like that. And the other thing is, of course, if you have a Git, you don't add these things to the Git. So that is that. Then you check here. So this is a bit strange. So what I noticed is that you borrowed one very useful function from other of our projects. So you checked that if I edit my page, that I need to have a login required here. So, and this login required, by the way, this is a very good example, which I encourage others who did not do this, try to implement yourself, but don't just copy it from the existing projects, you know. So this is the function decorators in Python. So you can add like a wrapper function around any other function using this kind of syntax. So this is a function decorator in Python. It also works in JavaScript, by the way, at least in ECMA 6 and in TypeScript and in modern JavaScript, and also works in other languages like C# and Java and so on. So basically this is nothing more than just a wrapper function, and it has a specific structure like this in this case. So what you actually need here is just the name of the function. So this is not a class, this is a function, and then in that function you're using, okay, I need to open maybe a Func tools wraps here. So you're using this thing here. This is again the same as the function wrapper, and then you return the pointer. Basically this whole stuff is generating another piece of code of function inside another function. So this is really interesting because you can do the same thing in JavaScript as well. This is like a functional programming. This is not object-oriented programming. In object-oriented programming, you would not create functions within the functions. And then you return the pointer at the end here. And this pointer then gets called every time when you call the master function. And you see here the efforts checking is the inside the session the logged in, and if not, it returns basically the redirect. But if it is there, then it returns the pointer to the f basically execution here. So you see the f here is the original function, then you call the original function if it does not fail. So this is really nice way how to write. Unfortunately, I think not unfortunately, I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong that this is borrowed from one of our codes, but maybe I'm wrong. So basically, so this is good. So you added here, but then the question is, why would you not add it here? So you definitely should have added also here. Login required. See, and so yeah, login required. It only depends on the order, maybe. Yeah, so this should be the last one, I think. Okay, what else? What else doesn't like it? Unresolved. So yeah, import. That's it. And then you don't need actually this whole part. So you can just skip this. Ah, okay, the logged in. Ah, you need it. You need it for hiding things, right? So you need it for hiding things. But you could. So if oh, sorry, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. I'm totally wrong. Okay, so you're right. You did not borrow it. So that's great. So I'm happy that I believe you that you did not borrow it. So that's a good thing, Everts. So great noticing good things in our existing projects and applying them. So thanks for that. Yeah, I just realized that you did not need actually that, because logged in is available also for users which are not logged in. So this so far so good. So I think so far Evert's code is quite good. So here the logged in is checking that we don't have options to add new posts. We don't have options to edit posts. Seems good job so far. Yeah, so far great. Okay, so I think so this is great. So let's look at now at the last homework from the Rohit. So the Rohit's code. Okay, first I don't see the session being stored as a file system or the SQL type of version, or maybe I'm wrong. If I don't see it somewhere, if you have it, then let help me to find it. So that is not there, but there is something interesting. There is the ability to send the something like session authentications, which is really interesting, and you also have a model session. Okay, so you actually did implement it in some way. So you implemented it in SQL manner, but not using any built-in SQL functions. So that is really interesting. So there is actually in the Flask, in the yeah, I start understanding. And by the way, I also understand how it works just from the code. I see that it's a get and the session hash and things like that. I think the only problem with this code is that, you know, if I want to share some link with some person who also have the user rights, right? It will be a problem because then I will have the link with the session hash, which is not my session hash. So this probably not a good thing, right? So here it would be better to. So basically, what you did is great, but what would be better if you could use the usual session, right? So like here, there was this session in this guy. So session, right? So this usual session, which might not be in a file system, but in that session, you could store the out key for your own database structure. That would be a really smart, like better way. Because otherwise, if I always need to pass the session as the parameter, it will be a problem. So anyway, so I will try to run it actually if you say so. So let me see. You will need to share me probably some kind of user access code. So how can I, okay, so yeah, so log in. I assume I can try to guess what you have here. What is the password for some user? So you have test, probably test password, right? So test. Yeah, so I guessed your password. So not difficult guess. You should not use that kind of password in real systems. You should not use the same password in multiple systems as well, by the way. So anyway, so here you see you have the hash stored as the get value, which if I don't remove it, we lose our rights, right? And then how did you check this thing? So if I'm not logged in, can I do this? Let me see. So I log out, I go here, I can still edit posts even if I'm not logged in. Not cool. So but anyway, so the better way would be to pass the session hash inside the session itself. So I mean, it's good to have it in database, but it cannot just live in your URL. Hopefully it makes sense. So there is a session. Inside the session you have the user ID, the hash, the active. So that's great because what we can do, we can log out users using this table. So that is great. But it'd be great also to have it, you know, like permanent without the URL. The user IDs. So this is good. Seems great. Okay, so and you even have the admin rights. So that is great. Let me see. So session is valid. Let's look at your database. Oh, you have insert session as well. So complicated. So great. So I like that you thought about this a little bit, but yeah, I think the way we can break it quite easily, unfortunately. So so this seems a little bit strange. So I think most likely you borrowed this code from somebody else, because I don't think this is your. So this part is yours. Model user ID time. So this looks great. So you're doing the hash based on the time and the user ID. So maybe I can share this as well. So this is better than just doing the hash from your password. Okay. No, sorry. So this is not great. You know, where is the password? I don't see password here. How this works then? How this works? Where is your password hash? What is this hash? Okay, so this is session hash. Sorry. Okay, so this is the session hash. Okay, so this is session hash, but okay, so this is kind of okay, but I see that this is not your code primarily because of the function style. So again, even if you look for some code around the internet, please try to rewrite it yourself rather than just copying it. Even rewriting yourself helps you to learn some stuff. So yeah, you can see that this is not yours. Okay, so the insert user and get you. So what? I don't see actually one thing for all of you guys. I don't see anyone checking that. So what you had said, you right now, everybody is allowing to register the same email twice. Even okay, no, not everybody. So the Zaf checked that the email is unique. Ah no, sorry, that was my change. I added the index. But yeah, I don't think that we should have email unique because there is deleted function, right? But instead, you definitely need to check that if you create a register function, which was not required, but which is cool that Rohit actually made it. We can look at that. So Rohit made an extra step. He made ability to register in the system, see? So, but if I register in the system, now I can register the same user twice. So now I can hack your account, right? Which is like I can log in, I can mess up the user base, right? So funny, let's see, can I log in with funny? Okay, no, it did not work. That is interesting. So you check, I guess. Let me see, email. Where did you check it? Ah, yeah, sorry, you check it. So sorry for jumping down too quickly. You were smart enough to check it. So yeah, you check if the user actually exists already with that email. And then, what is this about? Why do you check the password hash here? So this is register function. Let me quickly see. So email and password exists. By the way, this kind of syntax is not very stable in Python, just using it raw as because this is checking the none or bool. So even if you have an empty string, it will pass. So then you insert the user ID. But why did it fail then? So, okay, so this failed in a very not cool way because it added the new user and then it selected the first occurrence of that user email. So I can still, so this is a security flaw, so flaw. So I can create like 100 requests like this, so every time, oh no, what I opened, sorry. So that was not for you. So anyway, if I open many times this one, I will always write test at test.com, and let's see. And okay, this is actually writing register here, which is also not cool. So login, there was written login. So now if I open this, see, I have test. So your code is not really stable. So I see that your intentions, that they were very good intentions, but the execution is a little bit off right now. So it should have been checked, you know, like that if the user exists and then only add it and so on. Sorry. So and also you're not checking it here. Let's quickly look at how you do this part and then we'll wrap up. Okay, it's a little bit messy basically, but it's a good intention. It's a little bit messy with good intentions. So okay, so yeah, I think that's it for today in sense of doing the code review and going over the last tasks. I think some of the highlights from today is that remember to having the indexes where it's needed and the decorator functions. Remember, there was the decorator function. Yeah, here the decorator functions, right? So they were very useful. And next week we're gonna start a new cycle. So those of you joining again, new that want to learn the all sorts of programming environments and patterns. So we will look at from the request from Rocket. So we will start working again with the React, and I will think if we will work with the ECMA 6 old JavaScript or with the TypeScript. So it will be either one of those three. You can also let me know which one you want, and we will try to work with the React framework using web, I think. So I think we will need still a little bit learn more regarding to web direction, how you can create web interfaces. For example, I think a very good example is that right now we have one project where we are working with robots on Linux, and on Linux there is the user interface very terrible. So all of the TK, Qt, all sorts of those libraries work really bad in many cases in Windows on Linux. Sorry. And then what we do, we create the React based application based on Chromium. So it's kind of web application, but at the same time in the backend we have Python or JavaScript or Node.js or something like that. So the idea is that we will start the next cycle using the React, and I think what we could do, we could kind of repeat what we tried to do this time using the kind of creating a small blog site, right? But instead of doing just a blog site all in Flask, we could do the front end in React, and back end we could do maybe in Fast API or some other kind of API type of frameworks. So if you like that, let me know personally or in chat, and yeah, we'll meet next week, and I will try to find time to prepare proper templates so we can work efficiently. So thanks for the homeworks, and yeah, see you next week. Okay, bye bye.